Unemployed forever and why the 9 to 5 feels like fake work nowadays. So finding a job right now is like insane. One of my buddies was lost his job. He had like some HR thing go on, and he was looking for a job for about 2 months, and he finally got some interviews. And the very first interview he got, it was in a town like an hour and a half away from where he lived. He still went there, showed up for the interview. They told him to come back the next day to do like the final interview. He shows up the next day when they told him to, the time. He drove an hour and a half. No one in the building was there. He shows up to an empty building. No one's there. He makes some calls. He goes to the building next door. So they like, had him go down, absolutely no reason. And I remember when I was looking for a job for a little bit, I was like, it was probably like 3 or 4 months where I was just filling out interviews, looking up applications. And then I finally got like word back from someone on Indeed, and we were talking back and forth. And then I'm trying to like get a time to go in there, and they just stopped messaging me. So I actually ended up just showing up to the place. I just showed up and ended up telling them I was here for my interview, and it worked. They kind of liked that. Like I took initiative, and that was one of the jobs where I was like, I was at a point in my life where I was like, I need to lock in. I'm not like where I need to be financially. So I kind of just like totally locked in. I made a game plan. I cut all my expenses really low, and I got a job that was like a sales job. Like I knew I could make more money if I worked a little harder. I was doing at least 40 hours a week, but a lot of the weeks I was putting out like 60 hours of work. And with my first month, I was like one of the top salesmen there. I was like, we had 10 salespeople on the team, and I was in the top three the very first month I started selling. And that showed me that like if I just show up and just work hard, and I can outwork these guys. Like that's something I've always had, is like I can put my nose down, I can grind, I can work. And that's what I did when I got there. I was staying later than people, getting in early, and then I was just like cold calling like crazy, doing everything I could to generate leads and turn over clients into sales. And it was pretty chill. But something I quickly noticed was like looking like they're doing work. There's just a lack of work in the real world right now in the 9 to 5, it feels like. And I'm sure like construction jobs and plumbing is not like that. Like if you went to trade school, you probably have work everywhere. But these like white collar office jobs, it's fake work. It's like half the time you're just BSing, uh, pretending you're doing something at the computer. It's kind of crazy. And then the other thing is like the office politics is like there's definitely favoritism in these jobs. And it just sucks because you could be like a better salesperson or a work harder, but it doesn't matter. If someone's the favorite, they're going to get more resources put their way, more leads put in their name. And it's just kind of crazy. And something I really realized was with the whole fake work and the 9 to 5 thing was a lot of the stress actually comes from like lack of action, not action. Like on the days at work where I was busy and I had like a couple customers that day, got some good sales done, was almost working the entire time I was at the job. It wasn't a stressful day. It was like it was a good day. Like I felt like I got some things done. But on the days where we there's like this weird angst in the air, and stress really comes from like the lack of action, not the action, is what it feels like. Now this job, I stayed there for a little bit over a year, and I stacked cash like crazy. Put away 50% of every single paycheck I made, and I usually would invest 25% of my paycheck, and the other 25 I would put in like a high yield savings account, or I use this stock called SGov, where it's pretty much like government bonds. It floats around $100, and you get a little bit over 4% interest on there, and it pays out monthly. So that's kind of what I did with my money, and I just started stacking cash as fast as I could. My plan was like, I'm going to try to stack a bunch of cash so I can retire early, or at least like find a better career, a more of a real job. Not that this wasn't a real job, it's just not something I wanted to be stuck in. And I kept my monthly burn really low. I think that's what helped me be able to leave my job earlier. I don't have like crazy expenses. I have a car with like almost 200,000 miles on it. I paid cash for it. And that was one of the best things I could have done in my 20s was like not signing a lease or getting an expensive loan on a car. And it's crazy because I've seen people when they get a new car and they're paying like 1,200 a month now, or with these crazy interest rates. And I just always knew about loans and how they worked, and like that was not something I was getting myself into. So I got another job offer towards the end of the my time at that first job, and it was for a financial advising position, which sounded really cool to me. Really been into investing. When I got this offer, I thought like this is really cool. The first job, the sales job, and I asked for a raise actually before I put my 2 weeks in. Funny story, I never quit a job before. I always got fired. So like the day I was like putting my 2 weeks, I didn't know how to do it, and I actually had to ask one of my other coworkers, like, "Hey man, like, how do I like write a letter of resignation?" And he just kind of me. He thought it was funny that I told him I was like, "I've always been fired. I've never just like quit. Like I've always just kind of like checked out mentally and just waited till I got fired." But this time I had a backup job on the line, and I was ready to make the move. So I got this job as a financial advisor with a pretty big firm. I'm not going to say which firm it is, but I started there pretty much right away after, and I had to do all these tests to get your licenses for being a financial advisor. And I got some of the tests done. I've passed like the SIE exam, and then I found out I might have like be relocating soon. And I really like the person I worked for. I didn't want to like lead them on and just keep having them pay me a salary when I probably wasn't going to be there long term. So I got this next job, and I kind of just started looking for something else to do on the side. And this financial advising job, I noticed the same thing. It was like 9 to 5, but a lot of it was like fake work. Like you were just sitting there kind of pretending to be busy. Like I don't know what's up with the white collar work nowadays. It's like there's not that much work to be done. It's like a lot of sitting there and just waiting, twiddling your thumbs, waiting for work to be over, showing up early, doing work for about an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, and then checking out the rest of the day, which is kind of crazy. And then what happened was I ended up getting an opportunity to work from home, like be self-employed. And that's been great. I'm doing like sales from home and some bookkeeping work from home. I'm totally self-employed now. And honestly, I don't see myself ever going back to like traditional employment. And maybe I'll take up a job if I get some really good offer or something. But right now I'm making more money than I was making at both the other jobs. I'm working less hours. It's a scalable income, so I can actually make more money with less time. And I get to work from home or from anywhere. This is like really opened up my schedule for traveling, pretty much doing whatever I want to do. And it's like purely internet sales, which is super scalable with the niche I'm in. And then bookkeeping, which really I can hammer out a whole week's work in probably a couple hours, like less than 6 hours. I can get a whole week of work done. I just got to check my books like twice a week, and I can do that from anywhere. I got a computer and Wi-Fi. So, but nowadays it seems like most 9 to 5s just feel like fake work. It's like 2 to 3 hours of real work, and the rest is just passing time. And then another way I stacked money this whole time was I had a part-time job on the side before I even got the first job. I've been a part-time kickboxing coach now for like 3 years, and that's been giving me enough money where I have like most of my bills covered with just that. And I have my monthly burn really low, which helps. But having the part-time kickboxing job, it almost feels like a hobby. It's like I don't mind doing it. It's fun. I go do it, and I still get paid every month. I get paid pretty well, cash money. So the kickboxing has been working out good. That kind of helped me keep my burn low and help me invest more. Because in the last couple of years, I've invested a crazy amount of money. And part of that was just having a system where I just dollar cost averaged every dollar I got. And to this point, I'm still investing about 50% of every paycheck. So with the 9 to 5 feeling like fake work, I really don't see myself going back to being employed. So I may be forever unemployed or at least self-employed. If you made it this far in the video, thanks for tuning in. And if you don't mind hitting that like, if you subscribe if you want to, I'd appreciate it if you did. But thanks for making it in.